Hope Community Church, we are so excited to once again welcome you to join us for in-person gatherings beginning Sunday, November 1st. But I just want you to know, we are going to remain online. We're going to be live streaming indefinitely for those of you who are far away, for those of you who are not yet ready or able, for those of you who are at high risk. But if you're tuning in online, what you should know is that instead of being at 10 o'clock, we're going to live stream both of our gatherings at 9 and 11:01. So you're going to need to pick either a little bit earlier time or a little bit later time. And so as we prepare to do this, there's a few things we want to share with you. And the first one is this. We've talked to literally everyone. We've talked to churches, we've talked to health officials, we've talked to anyone who would answer or return our calls, just to try to be as wise as possible in this season. And just like our survey that we asked you guys to respond to, it's amazing. In particular, as we've talked to churches, there are some churches, many churches actually, that aren't even meeting yet and not even planning to think about that and evaluate it until 2021. We've talked to some churches who have started meeting, but if you want to go, every single person is required to wear a mask. We've talked to other churches where over time they've loosened up from where they started, and now they're at a point where no one's wearing a mask, and really everywhere in between. So we've talked to everyone, and so the second thing is, everyone has to start somewhere. And for us, we have decided that we are going to start in the middle. And so expect change. Things are going to change. Things always change, and we anticipate that. If things around us get any worse, we're going to change that way. If things around us get better, we're going to change that way. And so we've always said this, but we want to say this now more than ever. If you're not feeling well, this is not the time or season for you to think, you know what, I'm just going to sort of power up and I'm going to get it done and I'm going to show up. No, now in particular, if you're not feeling well, we really need you to think about and to actually stay home. And then here's the thing that everyone wonders about. So Rob, what information do I need to have? What information do I need to know if I would like to, if I'm planning to attend in person at New Hope? Well, a few things. One is distancing. We're really going to focus on distancing. You'll notice when you go into the auditorium, there's chairs that are distanced in sections and in groups, and we think that that's super important. Certainly, if your family or the people that you do life with all the time is a little bit bigger than any section you can find, man, we want you to be able to move chairs around and do that kind of thing. Also, we are trying to minimize points of congregation, and we would really love your help with this. So please don't stand together with your 20 closest friends in the middle of the lobby blocking that. You'll notice that many churches actually have closed their cafes and things like that, just again to avoid congregating. But we're going to give away a few items for free, and we're going to space those all around the lobby, again, just to avoid a large group of people being in any one place at any one time. The other thing that a lot of churches, especially ones that have lower mask requirements, are doing is they're trying to create touchless environments. In fact, we've talked to some churches that literally have spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars upgrading their facilities to be as touchless as possible. And we are actually working in those directions. But where we're going to start is we want to have as many people as possible opening and closing doors for all of us. So as few people as possible have to put their hands on the exact same doorknob over and over and over. But the one everybody really wants to hear about is, Rob, what are we doing with masks? And as our starting point, there's really two things you need to know. The first is this. If you are a staff member or a volunteer, we are asking for you to wear a mask. Actually, we're going to require it in all situations where you're in close contact with other people. We've actually ordered some really cool masks that have the New Hope logo and website on them that you can not only have and wear here, but in any other place you find yourself as well. And I know for some people that's a big ask, but we think as leaders, regardless of what our thoughts or opinions on masks are, it's incumbent upon us to really take that extra step to help and to serve and be mindful of others. If you're just an attender, we actually are going to let you decide. You can do what is important to you. Now, if you're saying, Rob, that's great, but what would you like me to do? If I'm cool either way, if masks aren't a big deal for me, if I'm wearing them multiple other places, what would you like us to do? What we would really love for you to do is treat this just like a restaurant. You know, you come into a restaurant, you wear your mask when you're walking in, when you're walking by other people's tables, maybe when you're interacting with other people kind of out in the main space. And then when you get to your table, which for us would be our seats in the auditorium, then you're welcome to take it off for the majority of your time here. Again, that would be what we think would be the best practice and what we would love for you to do. But again, this is not something that we're going to enforce or chase people down to do. It's just what we think would be best if you are able to do that. It's interesting, all the pieces of information that change, a lot of times people think, well, tell me what I need to know, tell me what I need to do, and then I'm going to decide. And we actually think that all the stuff that changes all the time isn't really the important information. We think the important information is the stuff that comes from Romans 14. Just a few thoughts from there. Each one of us is going to give a personal account to God in the end, right? We all have to answer for ourselves. And so I get to do me and you get to do you, and we're happy to let you do that here. Number two, so let's stop condemning each other, right? We do not want this to be a place where you're sitting in this room, you're excited we can get back together, and instead of learning about and worshiping Jesus, you're looking over and you can't believe that person's doing this or that person's doing that. This is just not the place. Let's not condemn each other. There's great reasons why people would do either thing. And then I love what Romans 14:20 says, don't tear apart the work of God for an issue that is debatable, right? There's all these debatable matters that you could really have either opinion on. It's really not worth us tearing down the work of God. And so really what we want more than anything is for all of us to have some humility and some grace for each other as we figure things out in this crazy season. But we are so excited for you to be able to join us again for in-person gatherings. Let's go.